Good afternoon, Shankara TV viewers, and welcome you all for today's episode. Now, today I would like to explain to you in depth the concept of meditation and how meditation as a tool improves the power of positive thinking. Meditation is there for ages, as we all know, but I would like to explain meditation more by using a mathematical tool that is called analytical geometry to understand the characters of a meditation first. That is, when we close our eyes and meditate, thoughts are bound to appear in our minds. That is very natural. When thoughts appear, it disturbs us because meditation basically means the stage of thoughtlessness, no thoughts, nil thoughts. But then how it can be without nil thoughts? When we have our senses, the five senses in operation controlling us, thoughtlessness stage is very difficult. But there is a stage, let us go to that. Now, when you close your mind and meditate, thoughts are bound to occur. They come crashing onto your mind, in your closed mind. If your eyes are closed and you start meditating, they come crashing in. In my previous episode, I have explained to you already that thoughts generally have a formation of a bell-shaped curve. A bell-shaped curve, statistically or in analytical geometry or as a graphic way of representation, is something like a bell. So, when you start meditating, initially to a point of time, the thoughts will rise, especially for a new meditator. It will rise up further, may reach a peak, and then it will start sliding down, coming down. Thoughts are bound to come down because as you gain experience, the number of thoughts pouring into your mind would lessen. So, it would come down, but again pick up. It would go up to the peak, then again come down, like a bell shape, like a snake formation I have told you earlier. Like a snake, it will start up, go up to a peak, and at that point when too many thoughts come crashing in, you are bound to open your eyes, disturbed by the thoughts. And then it would come down, down, down as you gain experience. As the time passes in a single sitting, then it would go up, up, up. That means it would have several bell type formations. Now, representing this in a analytical geometrical scale, that is in a graph sheet, you have the y axis and the x axis. The x axis, you take your time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Likewise, you plot your scales, points, and on the y axis the number of thoughts that pour in, 50 thoughts, 100 thoughts, 200 thoughts, 300 thoughts, and then comes down to 100 thoughts, 50 thoughts, like that. So, the number of thoughts you can measure in your y axis and the time period in the x axis. So, after 1 minute it will be 50 thoughts, after 1.5 minutes it will be 75 thoughts, after 2 minutes it will be 200 thoughts. A simple way of explaining. So, these thoughts go up and down, it would reach a peak at certain levels. The next peak in the next bell shaped curve may not be the same as the previous peak, it may be a little bit less, and these thoughts do come. Now, what are thoughts? Thoughts are nothing but tiredness of your mind. Lot of thoughts get embedded in your mind, in your years of experience, in your years of life in this world. Some thoughts come immediately, yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's happenings, incidents. Some thoughts come pertaining to 5 years back, 10 years back. So, number of varied thoughts are there. And how the thoughts are measured in numbers like 50 thoughts or 100 thoughts or 200 thoughts. They are done simply, they say, neurologists say that it is through EEG, encephaloelectrogram, that is like your ECG, electrocardiogram. EEG measures the electrical activity of your brain. So, number of blood spots, if the thoughts are pouring in, probably it is represented by number of blood blotches, blood spots in the area, in certain area of your brain. Probably they are counting it, and they say average 12,000 thoughts come to a normal man in his waking state, or some in also in his dream state. So, these thoughts go up, down, but this is for a starter, a new gentleman who is meditating. But when these thoughts go up, reaching the peak, some may open their eyes, unable to control those thoughts, and they come down. These thoughts, I told you, are the tiredness of your brain, the tiredness, the bubbles. In a calm water, in a jug, in a pot of calm water, if you drop a pebble, a marble, the water bubbles would come out. You must have noticed. Similarly, when your mind takes itself a delve, it goes down, it dips itself into the bottom of the pot, your mind, bubbles, the tiredness of your brain represented by bubbles would come out, represented by thoughts. That is what we call as thoughts. You have to arrest it. So, these thoughts come up, go down, come up, go down, come up, go down, and they are nothing but tiredness. So, you need not worry about these thoughts. When these thoughts do come out, your brain gets more matured. When they go out, thoughts have to come. So, you have to slowly bring your mind to a thoughtless stage, and that is what we aim at. Now, a thoughtless stage, some people ask me, is different from your deep sleep. In your deep sleep, your senses are inactive, whereas in a meditation, all your 5 senses are active. In a thoughtless state also, all your 5 senses are active, but your thoughts may not be there. For example, you may hear a car going, the sound of a car, but if you adjectively analyze that the sound is high, low, or sound is disturbing, or sound is different, you put an adjective to the noun sound, then you are qualifying, that is a thought. Simply hearing the sound passing through is a thoughtless stage, actually without no thoughts, and your senses are active. So, a deep sleep state is totally different from a meditative state without thoughts, because when your senses are active, all the 5 senses are active, you will be able to respond to the cosmic signals in a meditation, whereas in a deep sleep, all your senses are shut off, and there would be no reactions. There will not be any signal, a satellite in your mind to receive cosmic signals. So, there is a difference. So, when you meditate, the aim is to achieve, to attain the thoughtless state. Now, please listen and observe very carefully. When these bell shaped curves come up and down, at the bottom they may break. There will be a space between one bell shaped curve and the other bell shaped curve. When the space is there even for a second, that space is called the thoughtless stage. That is, you are under deep stage of meditation. You are under meditation. That is what we aim for, to expand that space between one bell shaped curve and the other bell shaped curve. When you get experience through your daily practice of meditation, the thoughts, the gap, the space between two bell shaped curves expands, and that is, you have reached the quantum state. The quantum state means the state of meditation, the state of thoughtlessness where nothing disturbs, and it is here you can receive the enlightenment, the flash, the signals, the connectivity with the cosmic forces, and that is where Buddha got his enlightenment. That is a way of explaining through analytical geometry the meditation process per se. That is, these gaps, thoughtlessness, have a 0 to 4 frequency of hertz frequency of delta waves, 0 to 4. 0 means perfect, but they are at the bottom. In my earlier classes, I had explained to you about brain, where we have the gamma waves, the beta waves, the alpha waves, the theta waves, and the delta waves. Gamma waves has between 40 to 100 frequency, I have told you. Now, when you come to the bottom, that is 0 to 4, that is called the delta wave, pure thoughtlessness stage you have achieved, and that is the quantum state of mind, says Dr. Mani Bhaumik in his beautiful book called Cosmic Code Named God. The name of the book is Code Named God, and also Sir James Jeans explains beautifully in his book called Physics and Philosophy. And that is a practical way of my way of explaining things through analytical geometry about the meditation process. A meditation process have curves, has those waves, the snake like, the bell shaped curves, as we statistically call the normal distribution. Your thoughts are bound to happen. Say if you are going to meditate from first minute to 5 minutes, around 2.5, 3/3 minute, thoughts will hit at the peak. It may go depending on the nature of your meditation, on your previous experience or meditation, and then it will come down as you gain experience, and these again will get connected to the next course of bell shaped curve. But then as you gain experience more and more and more, the space is created, and when the space is created, that space 0 to 4 hertz delta waves, that is the quantum state of mind, that is your original state of mind, that is where your mind gets connected to the universal force of consciousness. That is where your mind is supposed to be in the quantum state, where it is a unified field, there is no separation, where you will enjoy the powers of the nature, where you will enjoy the powers of enlightenment, where you are in an universal field, the cosmic field, that is the divine field. You see, when you come to that quantum state, naturally we are all in that quantum state, but it is through our emotions, through our experience, we gain negative emotions. Most of us, in our 12,000 thoughts per day, if you analyze, 80% of that will be negative thoughts, as I told you earlier. Hate, criticism, anger, jealousy, everything will be there. 80% of our thoughts are related to that. Very rarely, probably 20% are related to the divine thoughts, the positive thoughts. But whatever it is, the purity of those thoughts depend on our meditation when you expand. And when you come to that level, you are actually coming into that divine level. And at that divine level, you become that Aham Brahmasmi, Asavadityo Brahma, Brahmaiva Ahamasmi, which that you argue as Brahma, Asau Vadityo Brahma, Brahmaiva, that Brahma is I am. That is that quantum stage, that is the space created between two bell shaped curves, and they are bound to expand through your experience on meditation. And when they are expanding, you are enjoying that bliss, the enlightenment for a lengthy period of time in the x axis, and that is where you have to aim for. Besides meditation, meditation not only aims for that divinity, I will come to you later on, it also gives you the intuitive power, the imaginative power. Well, let us come to that. But it gives you what is known as the unified field. Now, what is that unified field? You see, there was a very big, very renowned scientist, Max Planck. He gave to the world what is known as Planck's dimensions. The nature at the Planck's dimension is equal to the nature of extreme temperatures at pre-inflationary periods. What is that? Well, I will tell you. In Planck's dimensions, that is time, there is no time, there is no space, there is no gravity. Now, what is a Planck's time? It is 10 to the power of minus 43 seconds. 10 to the power of minus 43 means 10 divided by put 10 and put your 43 zeros. If it is 10 to the power of minus 2, it is 1 by 10 squared, 1 by 100. So, after numerator is 1, the denominator is 100. You have 2 zeros. Now, you take a 1 second. Can you imagine 1 by 100th of a second, 1 by 10 to the 1 by 10 squared, or 10 to the power of minus 2? Can you imagine 1 by 100th of a second? Maximum, you know, 1 by 10th of a second, maximum. Can you imagine 1 by 1000th of a second? You take a second and split it into 1000 parts. 1 by 1000th of a second is 10 to the power of 3. 1 divided by 10 to the power of 3 or 10 to the power of minus 3. Can you imagine that 1 by 1000th of a second? There is only 3 zeros. 4 zeros is 10,000. 5 zeros is lakh. 6 zeros is 10 lakhs or 1 million. 7 zeros is 1 crore. Only 7 zeros, but it is 1 crore of a second. You take a second and divide it into 1 crore parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1000, 2000, 1001, 1002, 2001, 2002, 2003, 50,000. You keep on, you cannot, our life will be over. Just 10 to the power of minus 7, that is 1 crore of a second. What happens to 43? If you put those 43 zeros where it is, you cannot. 10 to the power of 1 crore is 7 zeros, 10 crores is 8 zeros, 9 crores is 10 zeros, likewise 1000 crores is 11 zeros. If you go on 1000 crores, 1 by 1000th crore of a second, 1 crore itself you do not know, then you put 1000 crores, you cannot know. So, Planck had gone to that level, that is at the spot where the universe was created. And Planck's length, they say, is again a meter, 10 to the power of minus 35. You take a meter and then you split it by 100th of a meter, okay, it is a millimeter. 1000th is 3 zeros. You likewise 4 zeros is 10,000. 5 zeros is 1 lakh. 6 zeros is 10 lakhs, 1 million. 7 zeros is 1 crore. Just if you add on 1 by or 1 crore of a parts of a meter is very small, and 10 crore parts of a meter is very, very small. It is just 8 zeros. If you add on 35 zeros, you go 10,000s and 10,000s and 10,000s of crores. A meter being cut into so many smaller parts, it is beyond the conceptual level of a human brain. We cannot. These are called Planck's dimensions. In Planck's dimensions, there is Max Planck's dimensions, there is no space, there is no time, there is no gravity. And that is what we have at that quantum state of mind. We will have no space, no time, no gravity. You will be merged with an unified field, the cosmic force, and meditation alone can do that. Whereas in a deep sleep, your senses are shut off. Nothing will be there to note your existence. But here when you meditate, you may be aware of your existence. You are aware, but at that deep stage. Even Paul Brunton, when he came before Ramana Maharishi, he experienced that bliss for a second. Everybody experiences bliss. As I told you earlier, happiness for 1 second, 5 seconds, even in a given instance of a cricket match where the players jump when India wins a World Cup, for at least half an hour, 1 hour, they are in total bliss. The time spent at that stage of bliss, they do not realize that there is another stage called sorrow. When you are in perfect bliss, when you are in total happiness, you are not aware or you do not realize that the other stage is called a stage of sorrow at that point. What I am telling is, under meditation, under the laws of meditation, you get into that quantum state. Even Dr. Mani Bhaumik beautifully explains of a group of birds sitting in a seashore, and suppose you run towards it, they all fly. The mind just like that has lot of thoughts and they get agitated if they are stirred. But then when you go back, these birds come and sit on the same spot. Your mind also, when they are not agitated, come to its original spot, which is that quantum state, he says. So, that quantum state is what we aim for a meditation, because that strengthens your positive thinking. That will enable to filter your thoughts. Buddha says thoughts when unguarded is your worst enemy. It is more dangerous than your real worst enemies. An unguarded thought, if your conscious mind opens the gate and your mind is flooded with negative thoughts which are unguarded, which you permit them to enter, which you nurture, which you culture, which you want, then your subconscious mind would think that these thoughts are what you want, and they will try to develop further for you, because your subconscious mind is totally without any character. It has no emotions, and that is why one has to be very careful in this guarding your thoughts. And that is why the Veda says, let noble thoughts pour from all sides. It is a beautiful law, emotional law, just like your physical law. For an ordinary man, E equals mc squared is nothing but an alpha numeric number, a number E, a number m, and a number c, and a squared, a numeric number. But beyond that, if you lift, go through those veils and find out there is a history of physical structures and properties and sciences behind that. Similarly, when the Vedas says, Ano Bhadraha Kritavo Yantu Vishwataha, from all the parts of the universe let noble thoughts pour from you on all sides, means there is a beautiful emotional law which you have to analyze. You will find treasure after treasure after treasure if you go down, and that is what that led to the final concept that is called Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. What is that meaning? It is not simple language in Sanskritam. It has got a very, very profound depth in intellectual concepts. Therefore, at Planck's dimensions, when you say that the nature at the Planck's dimension is equal to the highest nature in a pre-inflationary period, whatever you see, pre-inflationary period is a period before the Big Bang, or at that spot where the energy was very, very high. The nature of that and the nature at Planck's dimensions, both are same. That means it is very clear that at that quantum level, you can attract cosmic signals, mysterious forces which will give you power, which will guide you, which will give you the intuitions, the imaginations, the skill, whatever you require, because you are Brahma. I have told you earlier about a very beautiful book written by a French judge who was staying in Pondicherry in 1866, a Frenchman, The Occult Sciences in India, wherein when he went to a yogi who was performing beautiful miracles, astonishing, he was just floating up. He was just floating up, that yogi, and then yogi revealed to him some beautiful verses. He said, Swa Adhyaya Nityau Ukta Syat Ambarat Avatarati Deva. That means, Swa Adhyaya, by your own efforts, your own meditations, by your own efforts to reach at those levels through meditation, Swa Adhyaya Nityau Ukta Syat. If it happens, Ukta means Yojana, means combining, bringing together. Nityau Ukta Syat Ambarat, from the heavens, Avatarati, they get down, the Devas. That means the Devas help you to achieve those powers. The yogi was floating in the air. When he came down, this French judge asked him, and the yogi said, the mysterious forces, the Pitrus, are helping him in these supernatural feats. Very true. And that is what the famous physicist Henrik Casimir, the Dutch physicist, says, there are some ghost forces, electromagnetic ghost forces, which only could explain, which only gives some power. There are the certain forces. It was proved by another physicist, Stevenson. There are some ghost forces which gives the power, and to achieve those forces, those fine forces, you have to get into that quantum state, and that quantum state you can get into only through meditation. Well, viewers, thank you for watching this episode, and more of it we shall see in the next episode. Till then, wishing you all the very best in your lives. Thanking you.